mean, talking about spending power is a very good question. Obviously, we're waiting for this deal to be rubber stamped, but once it goes through and, the figures we've heard about so far, it could change everything for Newcastle United. I mean, you've got to, first of all, take into consideration the financial fair play, where you can only spend as much as you generate. Obviously, Manchester City were banned from the next Champions League. They've run into problems with it. PSG have had some issues with it. So it's not a bottomless pit. It can't be that. But what it can be is what Mike Ashley hasn't done, which is basically make the most of all the TV money and the merit money. Basically, there's been some summers where he hasn't spent anything at all. But this would mean that all of that money, which could be 150 to 200 million per summer, could be spent. I mean, would Steve Bruce stay on as manager? That is also a very good question here. We've seen so many managers linked: Benitez, Pochettino. But realistically, whoever comes in will keep someone with a steady hand on the tail, if you like. And I think really for Steve Bruce, he's done a decent job. He's led Newcastle to a stable position. If and when this season ever gets restarted, you would fancy Newcastle to push on to well over 40 points, maybe get a solid mid-table position. The FA Cup was there for Bruce as well. Obviously, Man City was standing in the way, but it would have been fantastic to experience that. So he's done a good job, and I think really, in fairness, he will be the man to kick off this new regime. And then they've got plenty of time after that if they want to change managers. They usually do, don't they? It's happened every other takeover. It even happened in Newcastle with Sam Allardyce. The manager usually gets changed, but for now, I would say Steve Bruce. I mean, the Rafa Benitez question, people have asked that one to me so many times. Would Rafa be coming back? Does this automatically mean he will be coming back? Had a great rapport with Amanda Staveley and the PCP Capital Partners Group. They were ready to give Rafa full control of the football side of things at Newcastle. But since then, obviously, Rafa's left Newcastle. He's got a contract in China. I do believe that there's a £20 million get out clause, so that would have to be paid. It could be quite messy and complicated. I always say Rafa Benitez, I mean, even in the conversations I had with him towards the end of his time at Newcastle, he said he loved the club, he loved the fans, he loved the city. That's why he came back when the team got relegated. And, there was definitely so many hints that he would like to return at some point. So hopefully, maybe that's another chapter further down the line that I think he would like another crack at it. I think he would love to deliver at least one trophy to the Newcastle. A lot of people have been asking as well about Matty Longstaff's contract situation. That's been completely parked during all this. I mean, his contract, day by day, he's getting less and less time at Newcastle. I do think that one of the first things the new regime should do is get both the Longstaff brothers tied down. I think they're integral to certainly the next couple of years, where I think Newcastle are going to need players who understand the fabric of the club, and I think that those two certainly do. And I think they could be the future in Newcastle. You look at all the big takeovers at Man City. They kept players who understood the club on. Man City it was Vincent Kompany, and he went right through from Man City being a bit of a struggling team in the Premier League to being the champions and pushing on and winning all those cups. So you do need players who understand the club, and I think those two should be first in the queue for new contracts. And lots of people have asked, will Mike Ashley come out and say something after all this? He's never been one for interviews throughout his whole time at Newcastle. I think realistically, he might release a short, snappy statement, but the truth of the matter is that I don't think Newcastle fans will be bothered what he's got to say after all this. So many people have chased him and pushed him for interviews down the years, and he's just completely put up a brick wall. So I can't see him suddenly becoming a media-friendly guy. And as I say, I honestly don't think once there's a new owner there at Newcastle United, once there's a new person to address the public, I don't think people will really care what Mike Ashley has to say.